really important to us because we are really aware of the issue of visibility for Latinos in general, but specifically for the Afro-Latino community. We are here for you. This night is for you to hear from really important women in our community who are shattering stereotypes and breaking boundaries. So I just want to tell you a little bit about who People Chica is. And basically, we're an online platform for the Latinx community to come on and talk about the issues that this community cares about, from visibility to education to access to healthcare to beauty and entertainment. We want to be here for you to reflect the stories that are happening to our community that we're not hearing about in mainstream media. So if you guys aren't following us already, please do so. Our handle is @PeopleChica. You guys are already hearing her music and dancing to her beats. She is the Harlem-based singer-songwriter, rapper, who is just really making headlines because of her unique voice, and she also just dropped an album, Phases. So please help me welcome Melii. Thank you. And next up is another woman you guys I'm sure have seen if you are watching Orange is the New Black. She's my girl, I love her. Gloria, and here is Selenis Leyva. We have a woman that you guys are all really familiar with as well. She is an actor, she is a producer, she's a best-selling author. She's one of my personal heroes on TV. Please welcome Lala.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Thank you guys for coming. I just wanted to say that first. I think for me, it's just being who I am and being proud of being who I am. You know, growing up, it was kind of hard because people would always tell you, like, well, you don't look Puerto Rican, or, you know, you look mixed, or you have to choose, you know, you have to be one or the other, or you just saying that you want to be Puerto Rican, but you're not Puerto Rican. It's just a really weird thing, and it happens, like, within our own culture, that there's so much division, and within my own family too, you know, because some of us have like blonde hair and blue eyes, and then some of us look like me, and some of us are even darker than me. But within the culture, we can divide, you know. And so I think I lost the question, but I'm just speaking. So I just am proud to finally be at a point where I can just be who I am and be proud of it. And if you get it, cool, and if you don't, then that's on you. But I'm not here to like prove myself or show you where I'm from to make you believe that I'm telling the truth, and I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. And I'm also here to continue to show you that all Latinas don't have to look the same. We don't look the same, you know, we just don't. And that's what I have to say about that.
Selenis, I'm curious too about when did you start identifying as Afro-Latina?
I didn't know that I was like different, you know, or I was like, I'm Latina, but then you have people say, no, you're not. You don't look it, you know, and I was like, really? Okay. And it was always the people that weren't Latino that were telling me that I was not Latina, like casting people, like Caucasian casting people were like, so where are you from? And I was like, from the Bronx. But then I was like, my mother is Dominican, my father's Cuban. And they were like, wow, you're so exotic. And that always means like, you're not gonna get the part, you know? That always means like, oh, you're not Mexican. I was like, yeah, I know I'm not Mexican, I'm Latina. So I think that in the last couple of years, the need to give ourselves titles and really clarify what we are you know, at first I was like, why do we have to do that? But I think it's important because we do have to make a stance and say, yes, there's a difference. There's mestizo, there's the Taino, there's the African. We have so much representation, and, you know, we can't deny that. And within our own families, like Lala was saying, there is so much damage. I grew up, girls, okay, listen, with the clothespins.
Same.
Right? I would sit there with a clothespin going, oh my God, I just hope it works. Because I wanted to be an actress.
Used to make me
Exactly.
wear that shit.
I wanted to be an actress so badly, and the telenovela chicks didn't look like me, you know? And so I started identifying as Afro-Latina very recently when people started putting that out there and making that a point to say, no, this exists. And we can't deny that in our community. My daughter is not Afro, but she's my daughter. Do you know what I mean? But she's blanquita with quote unquote good hair. So I'm like the nanny when I take her to school for the first day. You know what I'm saying? But I think that now I'm like, no, I am Afro-Latina. And as much as I was made to feel less than growing up by my own extended family, I'm proud of the curves. I'm proud of my wide nose. I'm proud of my full lips. I'm proud of my booty. I'm proud. Do you know what I mean? Now it's like a time to celebrate that.
And so speaking of celebration, Melii, you, in your music, we've all been listening to it upstairs, and there's so much in it, and obviously you're telling your story, and so we wanted to know, how are you incorporating your Afro-Latina history into your lyrics that you write yourself, into your music, where, by the way, you're singing in Spanish, you're singing in English, and that's still not commonplace.
Oh, hello. Yeah. I'm a little nervous, to be honest. But I think the way I incorporate it into my music is just being me. I think I do represent Afro-Latina, and the way that I speak sometimes, I sometimes don't know certain words in English, and it just naturally just comes out in Spanish. I feel like the balance is there. The beats that I choose, the beats, like even the Caribbean vibes, I love to do that. So it's just keeping like the balance of me and who I represent, and that's how I represent Afro-Latina, because I am Afro-Latina.
I'm curious, did you get any of the messaging that Lala and Selenis were talking about your hair not being a certain way? And how did you internalize that? How did you think about that?
Speaking, like, to hear you guys speak, it was weird, because I kind of went through that same thing with my nose, and I still, to this day, I battle with myself on having like the wide nose and not having the pointy nose, having the big lips, you know, so.
People pay for it now.
yes, and that's the thing, like, I was even talking about it backstage or whatever, and it's just a lot of things that you just grow to accept and to learn that they're beautiful, and like she said, a lot of people do pay for it, you know, or to enhance it, you know, but it's just basically just growing into the beauty of what life is and who you are.
That's right. So
Recently, I got into this thing, and I never respond, but every once in a while, you gotta respond before you hit the block button, you know? Like, before you press. So for me, like, somebody who is Afro-Latina, identifies as an Afro-Latina, said that I was not an Afro-Latina. Because I was, because I was not as dark as she was, and didn't wear my hair natural. So I was like, listen, if we're gonna sit here and have a color chart to determine, you know, who is Afro-Latina, who isn't, I'm not about that. And I was like, no, you're not gonna tell me. All my life, I have been fighting to claim an identity. And now that I'm claiming it, and I'm like, I'm an Afro-Latina, I will not have my other sisters who are darker than me or who choose to wear their hair natural tell me that I am not an Afro-Latina. You're gonna have to take a roll, a seat, because I know who I am and I know the struggle that I have been through. You know, my daughter, although she's not Afro, right? She got that in her blood. So her children would probably be Afro. You know what I mean? But for me, I found that to be really disturbing recently. How I have a lot of the sisters and brothers out here telling me that I have it easier than them. Tell that to me, it took me 20 years to become an overnight success. So, please. You know what I mean? So I feel very, I'm so proud to have my African features. I'm so proud to be who I am and have a mother and a father who literally, their combination did this. I can't sit back and have those kind of dialogues because I think it's just so unhealthy for us. That's the division within our community. Latinos, get it together. Whether you are white, black, in the middle, whatever it is time to let go of the nonsense and unify. We need to unify.
Melii, I want to ask you, because so many of your lyrics are about really coming to terms with struggles that you had in the past, and you're very real about what you talk about. It's very honest, and I just was curious if writing for you had some kind of, healing quality to it. Do you use that? Is that what you're doing with your music? Is writing basically to heal and to get through the things that you're seeing?
Yes. Writing is like a form of therapy for me. I express myself better through just writing and just music in general. I feel like even now, like when I'm in front of people, I tend to shy, or sometimes I don't say exactly what I want to say. But when I'm in front of the mic and I'm in the studio, I have a tendency of just turning off all the lights and feeling like I'm alone and just speaking.
And we saw that, we see that basically in your videos. I'm like, you seem so confident and you put that across. What are some of the things that you would say that makes you confident when you're doing that? When you're doing your craft?
Can you
how is it that where do you get that confidence from to go in front of the camera?
I feel like my confidence comes from the support that I have. I feel like the women and the males that I touch and reach out to are where my confidence comes. Just backstage, I met somebody who was like, okay, this is why I do it, And it's always good to turn on the radio or anywhere where you could hear just uplifting things that make you feel good about yourself. And when you don't want to speak, music speaks to you, So why not hear somebody saying, I feel like this, or I'm this, and you're saying it too, and then you become that. Because it's basically what I see my music doing is just manifesting. Am I allowed to curse? No, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
Okay. So, I love saying bad bitch. It's just bad bitch energy. You feel me? Yes, it's yes, I'm feeling myself music, and that's all I want to do. I want to be able to turn on some Melii. If you feeling down, if you feel like, yo, I don't want to wear this, and then you turn on Melii, and then you leave the house wearing what you didn't want to wear. You feel me? It's just that vibe. I make sure when I do run into people, if you look crazy, I'm gonna tell you. But if you look nice, I'm always bigging people up, So I want that same. When I can't personally do it, I want my music to do it.
Yeah, it does.
For so long, we've all been brainwashed at what a Puerto Rican person looks like. And that's not me. That's not who they see me as, So it's oh, you speak Spanish? Because they're just so surprised because I don't look like what for so long a typical Latina, a typical Puerto Rican looks like. And that's why I do things like this. That's why I'm here today, to just continue to break down those stereotypes and those barriers and show people.
Right now, I'm just curious how you understand the impact that you're having on these kids, and tell me why you talk about that.
So okay. Not because it's just when you finally get to me, I have so many things to comment on, for which I say. So I'm soaking it in, even with the with your sister, I have
part 2 and 3.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I relate to that, and having a brother who is gay and darker than me is two two fights that he fights. You feel me? It's like, yes, but yeah, that threw me off. But yes, my question was mental health.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how are you so open about that?
I'm so open. I'm trying to keep it there. I'm so open because I'm not perfect, you know, and this is all new to me. So if I live my truth now, nothing that I do later on will be like, yo, she crazy, what she doing? You know, it's like, oh no, we knew she was crazy. You know, it was one of those. So it's like, as long as I'm living my truth, it's like, you can't use it against me. And when it comes to my support system, which is Melii Mob, and I just love everybody that's involved in that. Because it's just like, the people that you attract are somewhat just like you, you know? So I know that talking about these mental issues and all of that does help a lot of my supporters. And just like I said, my motivation is them. Like, I get messages every day from my supporters, you know, on things that, like, I help them with, and I just be like, oh my God, like, I'm doing that, you know? And, you know, backstage, you know, that's why I'm a little, because I love you, by the way. Thank you for telling me that, you know? But yeah, it's just so important that we talk about it more, because even growing up, it's seen as a weakness, you know? To my mom, knowing that a doctor said it was more of a, okay, now it's, you know, now it's true. But sometimes we have to take a step back and realize that sometimes it's not because the child is watching too much TV, or because they're on Google trying to say, okay, what am I diagnosed with? Sometimes it's really just a feeling that you don't understand. Mental health comes within, and sometimes other people sometimes see it before you do, you know? And you even self-destruct in the midst of it. So it's just to me it's important, because it's like, hey, like, I go through this, and maybe if you got this going on today, maybe you should go get some help, you know? And maybe go read a book, or just take time for yourself, because it's needed. And I think, you know, the more people listen to my music, I go know, like, I'm not all the way there in the head, but, you know, I'm a good person.
Behind it, you know, I know even in the acting space, like, when I walk in these rooms, I know that I have to be even that much better than everybody else, because I'm walking in and that's Lala. So they already have an expectation of what my acting or my performance is gonna be like. So I have to come in there even more prepared than the next person, just to prove that I can really do this and I take it seriously. And it takes a lot of work, so you have to be willing to put in the work. But it all starts with believing in yourself and not letting anyone ever stop your dreams. If I did, I would still be a kid in the Marcy projects, not doing anything with my life if I listened to what people said. And look where I'm at now. Sometimes I just wake up like, I don't know how I pulled this off. This wasn't supposed to be like this, not from what you see growing up, where you come from. You know, the odds are already all stacked against you. So my message just to everyone here and everyone listening is that it does start with you, and you have to believe in yourself before anyone else does. My dad has always told me something that's always stuck with me. It's, you know, love yourself from the inside out. And I think, and I don't want to go on, but I think we all get to a point in life where we're looking for love, or we're looking to be accepted by everyone else. And for my females in the audience, you know, it's about a guy, like, you know, and you want to be accepted by this guy, and if he doesn't love you, then everything's wrong. And I had to get out of that and realize that I have to love myself from the inside out, and that's where it all starts. So that's from my dad, so you guys can take that one. That really helped establish who I am and establish, you know, my life and how I live my life now.
I have to say really quickly, with, you know, Lala's story and a lot of people, is that when you are Latino, when you are brown and you are black, you have to be better. You always have to strive to be better. We can't, you know, stay in one lane and be like, coast. Like, we don't have that. We just don't have that privilege. So again, you have to be the best. You always have to be the best, because an opportunity comes, and if you're not prepared, don't expect that opportunity to come around again. That's just not how it's written for us.
I just wanted to say something else because we didn't talk about this, but you know, when we use the term like Afro-Latina, I just want people to know, you know, that I'm black as well. Like, I don't shun away from being black. Like, I'm black, and that's what Afro-Latina means to me. And I want to make sure people know that. Because then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you don't want to be black, you don't want to be this, you don't want to be that. No, I'm black. And
Afro.
Right, exactly. And I'm Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure that's clear because, again, we do it to ourselves and we start talking. I remember I did a column a while ago, and I got so much backlash just for saying I'm Afro-Latina. I'm like, wait, what the hell? Oh, you don't want to be black? You don't want to be this? You don't want to be that? So I'm just clarifying that right now for everybody.
Yeah, that the term means both.
Yes, it means both, but you'll be surprised. A lot of people don't know that. So I want to make sure we're clear on that.
Yeah, it's very clear.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yes. So I did get attacked once on Instagram, right? And they was like, oh, you not black, da, da. But it's just like, it brought me back to high school. Like, when I transferred from Thurgood Marshall Academy, which was in Harlem, and I was the Spanish girl trying to be black. When I went to the Heights, I had girls talking in Spanish about me, thinking that I didn't understand anything. So I'm there with my Uggs, my boy Uggs on, you know, and I'm just like, pero yo hablo español, like, what you doing? Like, you know, so it's kind of, it's just weird. It's a weird thing, like, the word in general and the meaning behind it. I feel like people just like you said, it's either pick one, you know, and it's hard because it's like, even if I was to be like, oh, I'm just gonna rock that, I'm just like this Spanish girl, and I don't, like, I went to, I'm not even gonna put them out there, whatever, because I'm messy like that, but I went somewhere, and I felt like I was an outcast, and it was just Spanish, like, all over, I just felt like an outcast, to the point where my PR had to, like, really press one of the people who like interview you and stuff, she turned her back on me. And I don't know, like, I was just like, yo, like, I don't get treated like this when I'm on, you feel me? It's just like, damn, like, you just never know exactly what to expect or how you're getting, like, just in general in the Hispanic community is like, well, you're not this enough, so you're not us, you know, or just like even in my songs, and I'm like the one who didn't fit in with the features, you know, like back to the pins on your nose, you know, like that's a thing. So yeah.
But you were doing like this this whole segment when they finally cast a spotlight on your character, and it was the flashback, and it was about the Santeria, and so which is an element of Afro-Latinidad and the African American diaspora. I want to talk about what that was like, that process, because that's like, for me, you know, you helped treat that with respect. You helped bring respect to Santeria and what it was. So it wasn't just some like ridiculous thing.
Yeah, it wasn't some like voodoo doll moment, scary chicken cutting the, you know, it wasn't blood. It was like, no, and
brujeria.
Right, exactly. And I was like, you know, and the good thing is, and I kudos to Orange is the New Black and the writers and the creators and everyone in Netflix, where they listened to me. And they were like, I was like, listen, you see this whole paragraph, this is wrong. So, and they were like, well, what do you mean? And I had them bring in someone who was a santero, who actually performed, who was in the scene. They hired him to make sure that he set up the orishas, that he set up the altar, and he was there. Yes, because I was like, you will not disrespect. This is a religion. This is part of our culture, and they did take care of it. And most of the time, you guys, you don't understand how, if you are Latino or Latina, you have to be vocal. You're like, yeah, if I'm Puerto Rican, I wouldn't say this. You know what I mean? They're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have me in the kitchen
How do you get the
making
courage to
tamales,
say that?
and I do it to make tamales.
I make pasteles.
Exactly. So, but they were open to it, and I think that they got better and better, and they would always turn to me like, "Is this right?"
Yeah.
But again, that was because it was a family. It was a very unique situation. We were 7 years together, and they listened. It's not always the case.
Right.
It's not always the case. I remember going into an audition years ago, and I won't say the company, but the person said, Dominican, what do they speak? And I was like, hold on. No, I was like, yeah. And this was like, top, yeah.
It's kind of shocking and
Yeah.
mind-blowing.
It's crazy.
Well,
Disconnect.
Dominicans, we do speak a little, Yeah.
But he was basically like, that's fascinating. Like, what language? And so yeah, it was that. There was that.
Lala, let me ask you too, can you give us any sense behind the scenes of those moments also where you're like, because you're putting a lot of vehicles out there for people, so what kind of like edifying and education are you giving people also?
Well, I think the good thing is that you put yourself in a position where you can start creating your own content, and instead of complaining about what you don't see, start changing that. And I mean, that's for all of us. For anything that all of us do, if we want to start seeing more people that look like us, we got to start employing more people that look like us. And whether it's, doing a YouTube channel, it doesn't have to be some multi-million-dollar production, So my thing is, I would complain so much about it. I finally was like, I got to start doing something about it. So now I'm working on producing a lot of scripted and unscripted content and really making sure that people see the diversity within the Latin community. And I want to be a force behind that and not just complain or tell my manager why I'm never going to go on an audition for a Spanish role because they'll never cast me. I'm going to cast myself.
Yeah, that's how a lot of the change happens. Melii, and for you in the music industry.
I act all over.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
Have me with the patelitos. I'll do anything.
I wondered, Melii, in the music industry, how that is like a whole other beast, and how do you stand up? Like, how does an Afro-Latina young woman as yourself stand up for herself? And I know you've talked a little bit about how you do that, like in creating music independently, choosing people that are right for you. But how do you do that?
It's just standing your ground. I feel like, aside from Afro-Latina, as a woman, you need to just stand your ground anywhere you go. What I feel like as women, we're overlooked, our opinions are overlooked. And it's just like, if you step into a room and you say, I'm here, they're going to respect you like you there.
Yeah.
So that's how I do it. I'll be like, I'm here. What's up?
We have a few minutes left, and I want to talk about what's next for you guys. Maybe we can start with you, Selenis.
Well, now that I'm out of prison, I'm working on the book, finishing the book. The book will be out, si Dios quiere, next year, the spring of next year. I'm really excited about that. And there is, I wish this panel was in 2 weeks, because the network, I can't announce it, but there's something really amazing coming.
I know.
And it is the first time that I will be given a role that is centered, that is boss bitch, that is like... That feels really, really good. Not that there was anything wrong with being a prisoner. But I get to tell a different story, and I'm really excited about it.
Melii, you just dropped on March 27th, Phases.
It's so good.
Thank you. I forgot I had this mic.
What's coming next for you?
Just a lot of hard work. I still have a lot to do. So
Tour.
But I gotta ask, I just can't be promoting tour and I don't even know, like I gotta see, but
Claim it.
yes, claim it, con Dios delante, everything just goes good, and I definitely just want to do more videos, just be more out there, show more of me and who I am. I feel like I do it a lot on live and not actually like people really know me. So I want to be just more like out there. I want to interact more with my supporters. I was actually trying to like create a day where I could just like meet up with like a couple of people and just like have like a Melii mob day out of like a year or like months, you know? But definitely just more hard work and dedication. That's all what I'm about. And thank you again, it's been amazing.
I want to come to you because you wrote this book a few years ago, The Power Playbook. If you guys haven't gotten it, please go out and get it. It's so great. I keep this next on my library, next to my desk, and I look at it because there's just so many things about visibility, and especially for women who are bosses, I think that there's a whole other level of extra work that we have to do. So I keep going through this. There's so many things here, like other books that you read that talk about power and owning power and independence. But I want to just point out this one paragraph here that I love because it's about the power within. And it's so important here for Latinas and for Afro-Latinas, so for all of us. And it says this: it doesn't matter how poor you were, if you had a bad education, if you didn't feel loved. Whatever the case, you may have been dealt a bad hand, but how you play it is up to you. If you feel as though you don't have enough knowledge, start reading. And then you give an example about August Wilson, who had dropped out of high school in the 10th grade, and he wrote all these amazing plays after, but he spent his days in the library reading everything he could get his hands on. And then here's the part that just gets me every time. You have to find out what you're made of. You must tap into your inner power. You need to know whether you can accomplish and complete your goals. Push yourself and see who you really are. I love this. Where did you learn this, and how? And just tell me that. And how did you put it into action?
You know, just my upbringing and growing up. You know, I hated depending on people. I always felt like disappointed when I depended on people. So I started telling myself, like, I have to start depending on me. And that's what I was speaking about before, about loving yourself from the inside out. Not saying you don't have your supporters and people that love you and want to see you succeed, but it has to start here. And that's what continued to push me, is that I knew that if I depended on myself, I would do everything in my power to not let myself down. And that's really what motivates me to this day to keep, going and to keep pushing myself, because I don't want to let myself down. I've come really far from where I started till now, and sky's the limit. There's still a lot more to do, but it all definitely starts within and with yourself, and not seeking validation from others, from guys, from girls, and feeling like, if you're not in a certain relationship, or if you're not in a certain place in your life, or we put ourselves on these timelines, by 25 I'm supposed to have this, by 30 I'm supposed to have this, like that's not what it is. Everybody's path and journey is different. You just gotta own whatever yours is, and no matter what. All have, sorry to say, but we all have fucked up stories. Like, we all come from crazy backgrounds. We have crazy family members and crazy things that have happened to us. But if we let that define us, then we're always gonna be stuck in the same place. And I just refuse to do that. And I hope that you guys can have the confidence and strength to do the same, because I come from very humble beginnings, and look what I've been able to create for myself, and I'm no different from anybody in this audience.
Thanks so much, Thank you.